Good morning. Today's breakfast is chili oats again. I've got some strawberries and a graze.com raspberry and baobab clusters. These are these things. I've just got home from school after PE, so I've decided to refuel with these chocolate peanut butter brownies from Muscle Food. These are the same brand as the white chocolate raspberry ones I had in my other video. So I'm just going to have a quick chat about this dinner I've got here. Basically, it's 2 packs of 400 grams of extra lean steak mince from Muscle Food. In it then I cook it up with some tomato passata, and I also add some peppers, some rice and some spinach. I've also added some sweet corn here, and basically you can throw in whatever vegetables that you want. I then portion it up and then I freeze it once it's cooled down, and I have multiple dinners that I prepared in advance, high protein, got plenty of carbs and lots of veggies as well, which is quite helpful when you're busy after school and even at busy weekends and stuff like that. It's now Thursday and I've got strawberry chili oats again, and I've got some dried strawberries this time instead of fresh, cranberries, dried cherries, pumpkin seeds, and I think they're yogurt coated sunflower seeds, and also a couple of little gingerbread men.
Hello everyone, it's Thursday. I've just got back from school today. I didn't really do much recording yesterday apart from a few of my meals, which you'll have probably seen by now in this video. Today I've had my psychology mock that I wasn't actually probably prepared enough for, although I think I did an okay job and I did manage to survive. I'm actually going to tuck into my dinner now. I will be going and training with Hannah again tonight. I'm doing shoulders because obviously with Hannah being at uni at the moment, being my training partner as well, I don't get to see her a lot, so when I do at the moment it's fab. Here is my dinner. It's the rice and mince thing I'll have talked about before this clip. I put some protein cheese on top as well that I got from Muscle Food. I just warmed it up in the microwave, to be honest. Nice and quick, nice and convenient. I've been experimenting more with savoury recipes and stuff like meal prep over the last few months. It has actually helped me quite a lot with stopping binging so much. It was honestly a really terrifying point in my life because I felt so out of control and I needed to get that stability back. So actually focusing on planning and preparing tasty meals like what I'm eating right now was really, really important, because otherwise I wasn't ever going to be able to reach that point of stability again, unless I'd given that permission to myself to really look after myself and make things that will look after me as well. I mean, for example, when I got home today I was absolutely exhausted. I didn't really have that kind of desire to cook up something really fancy or even come up with something sweet or whatever that I'd normally post on my Instagram. I just wanted to get some good food down me and get it down me before I go to the gym. And that's where I think meal prepping can be really useful, whether someone has issues with restriction or with binging. I honestly think that it can be a really helpful lifeline. I mean, I don't prepare every meal in advance. To a certain extent I do plan most meals in advance, and I find that really, really helps me. But it's just helped so much as well, obviously, with being at school and being more active and more busy than I used to be. But one thing I did actually find myself getting into was sometimes I'd have that planned meal and then I'd end up eating the food that I planned much earlier than I'd anticipated, or I would end up swapping around what I'd planned, particularly if I've got something sitting in the freezer or something, or just sitting in the fridge that could go another couple of days. My brain would sort of try and make me push it back and basically not choose those good options that would fill me up and would satisfy me. So it's been a real learning curve, and Also, to a certain extent, trying to figure out the kinds of things that set me off and make me more scared and more prone to not do the best for my body. And it's honestly taken months. Like, yeah, I'm doing this vlog now, but the point where I probably should have done the vlogs, in terms of really keeping myself sane, I suppose, was about November, maybe October time. I was really, really struggling at that point. And obviously I do still struggle now, and you'll have seen in that video a few days ago where I wasn't feeling that great. Obviously it can completely overwhelm me sometimes, but I'm quite lucky that I'm in one of those sort of better phases over these last couple of days. I want to talk as well about where my binge eating originated, because although I was mostly active on Instagram to start with, to do with anorexia recovery, my binge eating actually originated before my anorexia. I developed a condition called chronic fatigue syndrome when I was much younger, and to cut a very long story short, essentially a lot of the activities and things and just life in general that I took for granted and enjoyed as a child, I really could not do anymore. I was on bed rest for a considerable amount of time, and then when I returned to school, it's quite towards the end of school, by that point it was year 5 or year 6, this was the last few years of primary school, I really didn't know how to look after myself, and I didn't know what to do, really. I suppose I was at that kind of point where I couldn't maybe articulate what I was feeling, but I felt like I needed to take out something with something. I wasn't able to do my favourite sports, such as swimming and tennis at that point, and obviously that meant I was spending a lot more time at home. I wasn't feeling that great about myself because I wasn't doing the things that I loved doing and I was lucky to be able to do in the past. And so I turned to eating, and obviously I spent more and more time on the internet in terms of online games and things. And obviously the more I ate, and I would eat in secret, and I would, in particular, there was these flapjack bites. I think it was the Co-op. They used to do these 20 little mini flapjack bites. I would just devour an entire box in secret. I mean, obviously my parents found my stuff often that I'd had, but I was really, really relying on food as a crutch to get through my day, and I sort of obsessed about when I'd get home, what I'd have and everything. I sort of those ritualistic setups of what I was going to binge on. It really has its foundations in those sort of early years of my teenage years and also pre-teens, but it's kind of scary to think that eating disorders have quite literally followed me through my teenage years. And to be honest as well, my anorexia was diagnosed when I was about 14. That ended up developing because I just reached a point where I suppose I was so upset about what my body looked like and how I'd been eating previously. I just sort of snapped overnight. No one really noticed or seemed to care with the binge eating, yet with the anorexia, the kind of what people saw, they saw it much more quickly, yet they didn't see just how upset and how distraught I was in the years prior to that. And I kind of think that it's a real shame, and it's a real, it really shows how much stigma as well, I think, to a certain extent, there is around binge eating. People seem to treat it more negatively, and I'm trying to break that stigma. I'm trying to show that the kinds of people who binge eat you might not expect, and also any kind of eating disorder can affect absolutely anybody, and it's not always the stereotypical kind of thing that you see. Okay, so I've just finished my dinner, really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I prepared it in advance. By the way, I get most of my meat from Muscle Food. Quite lucky because I'm a blogger, I get to collaborate with brands like that. So I've got a discount code BNC bonus for £5 off if you ever want to order anything from there. The only thing I've tried from there that I don't like is I've recently got some gluten-free hot dog buns. I wasn't really intending it to be gluten-free, but I wanted some hot dog rolls, and I tried one and it just tastes like sandpaper. But everything else I've tried from there has been absolutely amazing, especially in terms of the meat, and the brownies are just wow. But yeah, anyway, I'll move on. Cheeky plug over. I want to talk about a little bit actually how I got into food blogging. I mean, obviously I used to have my account as a recovery account only. I would post absolutely everything that I ate during my recovery from anorexia, and I'd always edit the photos, so I'd get like, I'd put some text on it saying dinner and that kind of thing, or snack or lunch or whatever, and I would find it really, really helpful to have those kind of strict layouts and to see everything that I'd eaten in one day just by looking at my pictures on Instagram. And obviously over time I got more and more creative and more adventurous with my food. I remember I tried peanut butter for the first time because of Instagram, and oh my gosh, my life has been changed forever. Honestly, things like Reese's peanut butter cups I would have never tried if it wasn't for Instagram. And of course the ever famous Quest bars in the recovery community. I remember I used to have one every night at one stage, and they were really nice and I found them quite enjoyable to have, but I've tried them again recently. I know they've changed the recipe, but oh my god, they're not very nice now. At least, I mean, if they microwave them, they're quite nice, but I don't know about you, but I don't tend to walk around with a microwave in my pocket, so... And then obviously as my recovery progressed and I got asked more and more things by people, and I got more adventurous with my food, I ended up coming up with recipes of my own. I obviously wanted somewhere to post these recipes, and I also wanted to be able to capture them in their best light, and that's why I got more and more into the really sort of aesthetic side of taking pictures of food that looked nice and that tasted nice as well. Because my whole message of Balanced Not Clean, it's about not being afraid of the food that you're eating. So I also wanted it to look inviting, and I wanted to enjoy it myself, and I wanted other people to see how much I was enjoying my food. And that's actually where I developed it more. At one point I went to a new sixth form, to the one that I'm actually now back at, and I actually took photography, A-level photography, and so I got a DSLR as like a late birthday present. And obviously that, it's just been invaluable. I didn't end up staying at that school because it just wasn't for me. I went back to my old school and went to their sixth form, and I've been quite happy there. But obviously I wasn't doing it as an A-level anymore, but I have enjoyed it so much using this camera. Oh, where is it? There it is. This camera, it's a Nikon DSLR, it's D5-200. It's quite it's a mid-range sort of amateur DSLR, but it's been fabulous. It's probably one of my favourite features. I mean, I could record videos on here, but I don't have a big enough SD card, and I can't afford really one at the moment, so... And I find it quite convenient as well, just to record videos on my phone. That's what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm definitely having a great time doing these vlogs, and I'm really glad that people are finding value in them. I think it's a spin on my blog as well that I've wanted to go down for quite some time. I've wanted to do vlogs and things like that quite often in the past, but I've always had that mental block of, why would people want to look at your face on a camera? People are, so that's a win, that's a plus. And I'm having a good time doing it, so I'm going to keep doing this. In terms of the number of videos I'm hoping on bringing out, I'm going to continue this binge eating recovery vlog until I stop binging. So in the grand scheme of things, hopefully that's as few videos as possible, but it could probably be for quite some time. But although I am hoping that when I do reach that point where I feel I'm ready to move on from this, that I'll be able to just continue vlogging and having fun with it and sharing my fitness journey and my journey through life itself, I suppose, with all of you as well. So I'm really, really glad that people are already following this and already coming along for this journey, and I hope that it continues to provide help for those of you who have said that it already is. As always, if you want to see anything in particular, please let me know, because obviously as much as vlogging I suppose is meant to be about my life, I want the things I do in my life to help you as well, and the things I talk about too.
And just before I go, I want to share my new bench press PR, 52.5 kilograms, and I hope you all have a great day and enjoy this last bit of footage.